glad that you could be with me this evening. I'm going to be making 2 cards using the Art Gallery stamp set, which is in the Spring Mini. I just love this set because look at all the beautiful flowers, and this is the DSP that goes with it. And my internet is not working this evening, so I can't check on Facebook to see if my picture is correct or anything like that. So we're just going to go with it and hope that it is good. I'm going to try one more time, but I'm not hopeful. So this first card we'll make is this card. Now, after I made this card, I realized that these words just blend in too much with the background paper. So what I really should have done is made them be a different color. So that's what we're going to do tonight. They're going to be a different color. If you watched yesterday for my weekly tip, I made this and shows you how you can use the Q-tip and the glue to get these letters to stay on. So this is the top that we're going to use. So I'm not going to demonstrate that again, but you can go ahead and go back and watch the other video if you want to, how I did that. So we're going to start with folding our card base, which is Smoky Slate, and it's 5.5 by 8.5. That's the measurement for this, which is a regular card base. I'm sorry, now my laptop's saying things to me. Or, here I am now. I can see if I'm on. It would be great. So we have that. Then the next we have is a piece of Pool Party, because it kind of coordinates with the colors in the paper, Pool Party. And this is 5 1/4 by 4, which will be the layer on top of the card base. And then what I did is, I'm just going to get my basket over here and get everything out of it. So, you see how this is the same piece of DSP, so I just turned it over to make the bottom be the other side, which is why I think it's great that we have two-sided DSP, because so many times you can do that just to get a different look with still just using the same piece of paper. Alright, I see that you can see everything that I'm doing, and that I already have some comments. Oh, Susan, I agree. It is one of the best sets from the Mini. So let's get finished putting the card together. I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to glue this piece. I don't want to glue this down yet. Okay, so we'll just be really careful, because I see how I want to put the ribbon around. So now I'm just going to have to be really careful what I do with that piece. I forgot about the ribbon. I was going through my stuff and I have so much ribbon and so many embellishments that I buy, and then they just get laid in the drawer and I don't use them. So what I'm doing is I am starting to use them on cards now. So some of this stuff may be retired. The stamp sets of the paper definitely won't be retired, but maybe I might use some retired ribbon or some retired embellishments just because I'm trying to use them up. Then we're going to, I think that I might not have cut this quite short enough so that we can still see a little bit of the pool party. So I'm just going to cut a little bit more off. Always think when you think that you're ready for something, you're not. Okay. So now we will have that border at the bottom. And of course, I let it get stuck to me. There we go. Then, here's one of the things I'm talking about. I just have this much ribbon left of this ribbon. And I used it on this card too. But that way I can just use it up, because there's not much else you can do with just one little piece. So we're going to take it, and we're just going to do this to hide where the two pieces of paper come together. Well, maybe we are. We're going to put a little bit of seal and stick right there. And then we're going to stretch it across and put a little bit right here. So there we go. I really like it much better with the black words than I do these smoky slate words. They kind of just, I didn't think they would blend in that much, but they did. So now I'm going to put the card together here. And the only thing I have left to do is to get out my mini Stampin' Emboss and Cut machine and put the title, put the words on there. So we're going to need number 1, and 2 number 2s. And we will need a piece of Whisper White, or Basic White as it's going to be known. We're going to start having our Basic White is available to purchase now. And I know I had the little die that went with it, but it might have fallen out of my basket. Sometimes those little dies. Okay, I'll have to look for it later. So, what we would do is we would stamp the I'm issue with the pretty peacock, and then I cut it out with the die that comes with the art gallery, and I popped it up with a dimensional, and then I used some of these holiday jewels that I had left over, because look, I barely used any, so I need to get them used up. So I just picked out colors that coordinated and put them over in different spots. So I hope you like this card. And I will finish it later after I look around and see where that die went. I know it was in my basket, but sometimes those little ones will slide through the slits in my basket. So this is the next one that we're going to make. This one again uses the art gallery stamp set for the words, and then I use the DSP for the background and the gold and silver acetate specialty paper. So here's what that would look like. It's silver on one side and gold on the other, and when you line it up with the art gallery DSP, it just kind of blends in. It doesn't necessarily have to cover all the right things. It just gives the appearance that it does. So now, in order to adhere this, because definitely I don't want to put any stamp and seal in these clear spots because you'll see it. So I'm going to use the same technique that I used last night to do the words. And now I found the little tag for the other thing. It was laying right here. I'm going to use my silicone mat, and I'm going to put a drop of mono adhesive, and I'm going to take my Q-tip and I'm going to flip it over to the silver side, and just where there's some leaves or something, I'm going to put just a little bit of glue, not so that it'll show through, just on the wider spots, just to kind of hold it down. And this, when you get glue on these, it just washes right off on the silicone mats. We used to sell it, but I do not think, I could not find it in the catalog this time. So I'm gonna kind of eye this so that they're both going up and down. And I'm gonna lay this piece on top. Now, like I said, I didn't glue every single spot. I just kind of glued it in certain areas. So there we go. Doesn't that look so pretty? It just gives that extra glimmer to it. Then the next thing I'm going to do, because again, I was using small bits of my ribbon, so I used up all this ribbon, but I have this Whisper White linen ribbon. It's flax, I think is what it's called. Let me see. Yes, it's called flax ribbon. So I decided that that would look pretty on there too, just something to give it a little different texture. So I'm going to cut this, perhaps. I got ready for this too quickly this evening. I forgot that I would need scissors, my Stampin' Scissors. I try to have everything in a basket, but then when you forget a step, you don't have it in the basket. So what I did is I just took a strip like this, and I think so too, Susan. Those black words on the smoky slate background just really popped up, and you could see them really good. I like it so much. I might go back and make another set of black words and put them on top of the smoky slate ones, because really you can barely see it when you're looking at it. So I'm just going to put some Stampin' Seal back here for my ribbon. And I'm not very good at tying bows. I can, but I have to use a fork, or I have a piece of wood with some nails in it that I can do it. So instead what I did is I just took a piece and angled each side of it like this. And I tied a knot. And I'm always trying to be so careful that I don't waste ribbon. I get it too small to even do anything with sometimes. So we'll try again. Here we go. Much easier. So I'm just going to tie this knot here, maybe. There we go. And so see, it kind of looks like a little bow. And you could either use a glue dot or just a little bit, since I still have some mono adhesive here on my silicone mat, I'm just going to use a little bit of that to glue it down with, because it's just right here and that'll be perfect. Okay, and then now I am going to do those words. Which is I'm thinking of you. Art Gallery is a clear stamp set. So what I always do, just to give it a little bit more cushion, I have glued two pieces of fun foam together and made a little pad for myself, just the same size as a card front, so that I can lay my paper. I think it's just so much easier to stamp when you have a little bit of cushion. It seems to come out clearer for me. And this we're going to put on here with Mossy Meadow ink. Now, if you don't get your words straight, that's fine, because see how I didn't have my words straight here and I just turned the die. So you don't have to be as careful as you do if you're stamping right on the card. Sometimes that's why I like to pop them up on a label or something, just because it makes it easier for me to get them straight. And now we're going to get the mini stamping emboss and cut machine. You know, for 12 years I've called it a Big Shot, and it's just taken me a while to learn to keep saying stamping emboss and cut machine. You need to think of a shorter name for it. So I have the platform number 1, my number 2, my piece of paper of my piece of cardstock, my framelit, and just because they hop around on me sometimes, I put a Post-it note over them sometimes when they're bigger or something, but this one's pretty small. I think I can do it. Well, I think I can do it without a Post-it note, but on bigger ones where it has to be more precise, I always like to use some washi tape or a Post-it note. So there we go. And here's our words. And look at how these just kind of look like you took your picking shears and went around and made a decorative tag. And I'm going to add that to the card with some dimensionals. One on that end, and this is almost meets the mini ones, but if you're very careful you can get it in there. And then I have my to get the paper off here. And get the thinking of you. And then we're going to put it all together by putting it on the card base. So I'm going to fold the card base in half. And use my bone folder. It's needing a few more things here on my desk to be completely unorganized. And I layered it on a piece of Mossy Meadow just to kind of pop it up from the Petal Pink card base. The Stampin' Seal just rolls so smoothly. Thank you, Marianne. Okay, so now if I was going to put an inside in this card, I already have my inside cut. What I might do is take a piece left over from the outside and trim it to maybe like about a 1/2 inch or 1/4 of an inch. This is a 1/4 of an inch. And just put it down the side here, just to kind to decorate my inside just a little. And you can even make it bigger. You can make it be a 1/2 inch, an inch, whatever you'd like. I'm going to use my pad again to put some Stampin' Seal on it. So I'm going to kind of make it look just like this. Trim it at the bottom. There, that just kind of gives a little hint of color and stuff to the inside of your card. Add some more Stampin' Seal. Yes, Marianne and I have stamped together since forever ago, like 2004 maybe. So our card making abilities have grown a lot from our Stampin' Go cards that were just a card base and stamping on it. Okay, so there we go. Another card using the art gallery. This is a set that's in the mini catalog, and I love it, and I have one more that I'm going to try to get fixed up for tomorrow to show you, because I've just been stamping and stamping with it. Thank you, Susan. And I would appreciate it if you shared my video and liked my page so that you'll know when I go live again, because sometimes I just don't know when the grandkids are going to be here or something, so it's hard to pick a time. Hope you have a good evening and a good weekend. Bye.